Hi, and thanks for joining today's demo video. In this video, I'm going to show you how Diversely helps you to gather insightful diversity data from your job applicants in a seamless as well as meaningful way. Why is this important? Well, because 3 out of 4 job seekers these days indicate that diversity and inclusion is an important criteria in their decision making to apply for a role or not. But also, it's increasingly important to have diversity data to report to your clients or to use internally to understand what's working and what's not working. So, the diversity data gathering comes directly after the job application. So, if someone clicks to apply, and let's just assume in this scenario they're on a mobile device, they would fill in the usual forms. This could be in Volcanic or through Venturi Engage, doesn't really matter. When they hit apply, they get redirected to a page that would be branded in a similar way, feel quite seamless, but still be very separate from the job application. And this is where we're going to be asking about diversity and inclusion reporting. So we would start off providing context, why we value diversity, what we're going to use the data for, what we're not going to be using the data for, so that job applicants feel comfortable. It's a very sensitive process to be asking people about their gender, their race, their sexual orientation, etc. So we need to create a safe space. Then the questions themselves will pop up. These will very much depend on what you've set up in your diversity dashboard. So if you're only tracking gender, there would only be gender here. If you're tracking wider, there might be more questions. But we're also culturally sensitive, as well as understanding the compliance in the country where you're recruiting. So if this role were to be in Singapore or in France or in the UK, the questions that are asked would be different, but also how they're being asked would be different. So in this case, let's click and see how would you describe gender identity. We have 3 options: male, female, non-binary. Again, non-binary might not be included in every country, but similarly for race and ethnicity, this would really differ depending on where you are in the world. So here we have Chinese, Malay, Indian. Consent is really important when gathering diversity data, so we explicitly have them consent to our privacy policies. At any point in time, an applicant can also skip if they don't want to report, so that's absolutely fine. In that case, you could also use AI to predict across gender, ethnicity, and age if you've turned that setting on in your diversity questions. So that's really a short journey. At the end, we'll always ask job applicants to report how did they find that? Was it terrible? Was it okay? Or did they love the journey? Just to be able to report also on the satisfaction. So similarly, we've gone through the mobile journey. I just wanted to show you that desktop, very simple, very easy as well. It looks pretty much the same. One thing we didn't look at just now was view our diversity or learn more about our D&I. An applicant can click there before completing the questions. And what it would show is that D&I forward experience I was talking about. So why is it important to us? How are we doing across D&I? And these are based on survey scores that we can invite clients also to take. What are we doing? So how are Diversely's tools helping us to deliver a fair and meaningful candidate experience for everyone? And optionally, one could share diversity graphs. So how are we trending actually currently, and what are our goals that we're setting? Again, completely optional, so you don't have to share this, but the more you share, the more reciprocal the process becomes, and the higher the engagement from candidates in self-reporting their diversity becomes. Hope that was useful. Thanks for joining.